Well, hey there team, welcome back to the channel and welcome to PowerWash Simulator 2. We're having a look at a demo build as part of the Next Fest. If you're not across it, for me personally, I don't normally cover demos, but we're making an exception. It seems to be well received. We'll probably do this for future Next Fest. So I'm just burning through demos that I find interesting, sifting through the thousands of shovelware. There's diamonds in there, like this one, hopefully. So we're just going to sort of see what's going on. If there's anything you want to see covered, drop a comment. That sort of feedback is really helpful. But PowerWash Simulator 2, big fan of the first game. It's developed by Future Labs and originally was published by Square Enix in the first instance. And it was wildly successful. I use it as a high water mark, as an example that a two-way street, as it were. One, that indie games doing like simulators and all that, you know, sort of generally low concept, fairly more easy to pull off indie stuff, does not necessarily have to be ugly trash or anything like that. There's an example that when you bring in, you know, publishers specifically that really know how to push a project and know what they're doing, that you can make a real masterpiece in that space. So it's one of the best things, and it's basically a triple A take on the double A indie slop, right, as it were, for lack of a better term. But also the other way is that we should have more triple A stuff get involved and do that more often. Anyway, I digress a little, but that's the story from the first game. They had a lot of DLC. They seem to have a lot of success because now they're doing number 2. And from what I understand, unless it's sort of a silent partner arrangement, which does happen sometimes with indie projects and AAA, Future Labs is self-publishing. So they're doing the sequel, but they're doing it all on their own. So yeah, that's the setup. That's why PowerWash 1 was so good, honestly. Not to take away from the devs, but they had a big publisher behind them for a change. And here we are. That's your setup. Welcome, washers, to our single-player demo. Don your cleaning gear and hose down 2 filthy jobs from the fresh new campaign. Wishlist, blah, blah, blah. I've already got a lead on this, actually. I'm probably going to get a key for it today, but that's why I'm sort of pushing this demo out first. I haven't played the actual game. Go to home base. What's going on here? Okay. Access stories via the county map. Can I spray the cat? I don't like all this, right? I don't particularly like petting cats and all that. I'm not trying to be a sook. But often pet the dog, pat the cat is a red flag. For someone that instead of developing a good game, they instead put pets in for you to pat. Oh, now this, only real ones will know. Oh, and the truck. This is part of the school equipment, the stegosaur that you can play on in the first, one of the things you clean in the first game. Oh, nice. So what's going on here? We got cat photos. What are we up to? I don't mind that. I'm not trying to be too much of a fuddy-duddy. But it is one of those things. Certain art styles, certain character designs. There are a lot of red flags that you can just see straight off. So what is it? What is this building? Like, I get it, it's our office, but why do we have it? Questions. And there's our van from the first game that we cleaned when we opened the business. I kind of like this sort of sequel to a sim game, and now we're much more successful. It's unusual. Via the county map in the upstairs office. So, okay. I'm looking at the map. Closed door. I mean, I can just press escape, right? But I was hoping I could actually do what the game's telling me. Oh, no, here you go. Hang on, can I look at that? Removals van. Ah. Okay, well, that's interesting. If I go start washing... Alright, it is only the removals van. Excellent. Great news, you fully moved in. The removals van's moved and the wash bay awaits your expertise. Don't think the van should pose too much trouble. I know I got a bit carried away at the auction. Trust me, there's so much more potential in this place. Oh, and just says you don't need to worry about the van hire and factual pay. Okay, sure, whatever. Let's get washing. I actually played a bunch of the first game recently off channel, like a month or two ago, with a mate of mine that I got hooked onto it. And it was hilarious because you both just stand there in silence hosing a section of a house. You're just hanging out. Alright, so the controls are all the same. What do we have as far as equipment? We can mouse wheel through that, so we've got all the nozzles. It seems I can cycle through 2 different washer types. Oh, now that is handy. This is new. Hide cleaned. This is a big upgrade. Again, as someone who's a fan of the first game, it could be very difficult to track in real time what had and hadn't been washed. And the only way you would find out was when you get down to the very last bit of completion. It will start telling you bits and pieces that need cleaning. That's very good. Okay. But of course, that's all that tab does for me. So I don't have a tablet, or do I? Washer equipment. Nope. I pressed the wrong button. So I can go through escape. Buy some things. The swirl force. Ideal for washing flat surfaces at short range. Light duty washer. Prima Vista range. Alright. Bit of an X range. Provides more powerful medium duty washers. Okay, cool. Got a lot of stuff here, a lot of crap there. We got the main menu, we got cosmetics. Okay, so pretty much of a muchness. Now if you right click, it stays on, right? That's one important thing. And if you press C, you actually get free mouse movement. So between that and turning and clicking right click, you can get some really good rhythm going. Now, 3 is nozzles. Okay, I can hold for a radial. That's what I was wondering about. Okay, so... Oh, is that because I had the swirl force selected? No, I don't have the swirl force. Okay. Right. And we've just got short and long extension. And it's a better example. It's going to be the same clipping. Yeah. See, like if you get too close on the wrong nozzle, it gets pulled in tight. So it's just like well, it's like the reason you're supposed to have shorter barrels in FPSs, right? So we'll do this, the most gentle. Now, is it Q? Yeah, there we go. Q is highlight grit. And if it's anything like the first game, we should be able to... General... Maybe gameplay? Toggle input... Oh, it might be in general. Dirt highlight duration. You can turn up to 5 seconds. That's great. And you can change the color. But honestly, outside of some situations, I find orange to be pretty agreeable. Or yellow, or whatever you want to call it. So... You can turn that highlight on much longer. That's nice. Off we go. So far it's just more power washer, which suits me just fine. With the, the quality of life of tab progress. Jump space, alright, I'll change washers, yeah. I mean, we can give this one a bit of a burl. Oh wow, see, that's not nearly as powerful. It's a bit better. Change nozzles. Oh, hang on a sec. Oh, right, okay, so that's to put soap on. Now, how do I... Oh, my soap's recharging. Is that what's going on? That's cool that you can see the soapiness. You sort of see on 2, there's a meter building up. Because here's the thing, soap was an interesting mechanic in the first game. Because furniture, van, outfit, washer equipment, because you bought soap. Washer cosmetics, furniture catalog, outfit. It looks like you don't buy soap anymore. You just have a soap nozzle, making the dirt easier to wash away with any nozzle. And it seems to have like a charge associated with it. This is fascinating. This might be a really good fix, to be honest. Because the problem is what I would call Scarlett's theory to consumables. Because I have a theory on bloody everything. And that would be that consumables in most video games are broken. In fact, they're bad. Let's change extension just because the game's telling me to. Highlight. How many of you have played bloody Skyrim or whatever, and you end the game with 10,000 mana potions or health potions, right? You just ultimately build your character in such a way that you do not have to confront the idea. I got to stop pressing tab. That you will ever, in fact, actually come up against a scarcity scenario. Why is it charging as soon as I pick it up? I'm not sure I understand how that works, but that's okay. Sorry, to finish my point on consumables, it's essentially most gamers are conditioned to engineer consumables out of the equation as soon as humanly possible because they are in fact limited and unreliable by design promise, but never actual execution, right? So, you know, you're going to end up with all these bloody poison potions or gas bombs and things that you're just never really going to use. Okay, so it does run out, and then it has to charge, I guess. Yeah. Bro, you can come power wash my car if you like. Sorry, mate, I'm busy recording. Stop messaging. But how could he know? He wouldn't know. Anyway, the point that I was trying to make, and I'm staggering through because I'm focusing too much on this game, is consumables quite often don't really work, right? There are some examples of them working outside of, let's say, the RPG genre, because that's probably the most egregious one, right? I can build my character almost limitlessly. First thing I'm going to do is remove the game's imposed limits, which is to say, take away consumables from the equation. But in things like survival games, especially like really hardcore ones, like everything is consumable and you will die if you don't use them, you know, things like the Long Dark, that sort of stuff, that's how you sort of, that's the only real example I can think of where it works, right? So, at long last, why am I talking about consumables? Well, because this game had consumable detergent in the first game, and it was limited by, so you could purchase a bunch, but up to a ceiling per mission, right? So there was a sort of forced scarcity. You couldn't have more than, you know, you couldn't buy more than 3 of the specific soap. And there were like brick soap and concrete soap and general purpose, right? So there's a whole thing. But the truth is, because of the scarcity, I wouldn't use them. And most people I talk to that play this just didn't use them at all either, right? Because you can just do the job without it. It makes the job a little bit easier. Why wouldn't you do that? Whereas now, this new soap system seems interesting. Is that me cat? Alright, you can have a pat. Just giving it on a recharge and using it to loosen up dirt. This is good, and it's sort of like, I mean, paint is not the best term, but it, you know, painting targets as a gameplay concept is now being introduced. So I wonder, the loop has changed by one little change. This is really interesting to see. So I'm doing this. I'm going to just blast this out until it runs out of cooldown, right? And then whatever I painted is now the target painted that I'm going to shoot or interrogate or whatever you want to call it, right? I've painted my target. That's very clever. It's almost a perfect example of understanding the exact concept and problem of that I was just talking about when it comes to consumables. That is a cool touch. You can see it a little bit here, the water running, but the window especially. How good is that? That is cool. I mean, it's a little thing. Bloody car washing enthusiasts unite. Anyway, it feels like someone watching all my videos, or someone's on the same wavelength with me in the studio and said, listen, consumables didn't work, here's the reason why, and they'll take it a step further than I ever did, because I've pointed out the problem, but I've never really pointed out how to fix it, because I've never really thought about fixing it. But they then went and said, let's do this recharge system instead. That's very clever. Changes the loop a bit. I've used the soap in this demo more than I ever used it in the main game. Alright. I guess we still need to do the inside there. So you can hide cleaned. That's cool. Bonnet, bumper. Wait, are they sort of geolocated? Bonnet, bumper, cabin. Cabin door handle, cargo hold, floor, ceiling. Yeah, okay, right. So if you wanted to idiosyncratically follow this systematically, then it's there for you, man. Bonnet. Let's get it done. I have my little step ladder. Or, you know, it's like, if this is your first time seeing this, I can understand you, like, not giving a shit about any of this stuff, or not seeing it, or noticing it, or anything like that. But man, does it just run straight off clean spots? Oh, look, it fades off the clean. So it only sticks to the dirt? Yeah, look, just love who you are is my main takeaway. I'm someone who's willing to sit here and sweat about the finer points of PowerWash Simulator game mechanics, and I'm unapologetic about it. This is great. This is what the fans want. Probably have to get on the roof at some point. Give me a little bit of pushback, are ya? Oh, it's so satisfying. That's your dopamine. Ding, ding, ding. All right. How are we looking? 80%? Not bad. Good size. Cargo hold ceiling. Cargo hold floor. Okay, right. We're sensing a theme here. Actually, we've got the ladder. Let's investigate. I suspect this needs doing. Oh, it's got all bird shit and everything on it. Lovely. Yeah, this is great. If you do find any of this interesting, go back and play the first game. Great game. Addicting as crack. Might have to bring it back on the channel, but, you know, there'd be no sense in overlapping them. I'm going to cover this probably. Yes. Satisfaction guaranteed. Really want to power through this job and see if we can get on the second job. Nice. I wish tab would escape again. It's a small thing, but if I press tab and then I press tab, it just keeps doing that. Press escape, it gets me out of there. There we go. Oh, even better. Love it. Supremely satisfying. And then, yeah, you get enough of it and it counts it as done. Okay. Exhaust, roller shutter door, roller shutter frame. Bit cheeky. 99%. Truck lower side, 2 out of 4. Tire, wheel art, wing mirror. Okay. Oh, look, we're actually highlighting it now. Sexy. Oh. Ah, it was at the front. I wonder if I still get the time lapse for completing. Oh, hang on. Hey! Escape to finish? Yes! Excellent. Satisfying, even. Alright, cool. We've got a little bit of time left. Okay. Enthralled by a sparkling removal van. Cash earnings, power wash point bonus. What is that? I guess I get 200 bucks and 20 points. Roger. Continue. Public facility, Equinox building or something. Okay. Welcome to the town of Detergento. Okay. Have a quick look at this gig. So it's just this, I think. Nice. Early days. Basic stuff. Oh, this is great. Be way more belligerent with the soap, eh? Yeah. Soap it up, baby. Okay. Do it all without looking at the dirt radar at this rate. Nice. Nice. R is rotate nozzle. I don't know if I covered that. Nice. Wait, 18%. Surprise. Oh, ha, 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 clever. And I guess she's on the whole thing that happened today. My colleague asked me to do a deep dive into our public facilities. Okay, yeah, right. I'm not that worried, Shaz, but that's okay. I'm happy you're happy to share this with me. Yeah, just let me do my job, please. Alright, we'll just finish this top lip. Go on, you mongrel. There you go. 29%. Something tells me it's going to open up or something and you have to go inside. It's with the gnome. Huh. Got him. Okay, cool. I like it. I like it a lot. It's going to it changes the rhythm. So you're less sort of getting hung up on tough stains. However, it's still early days. Like it's hard to tell. Who knows what what lies 10 hours in. However, the idea of having to kind of pre-paint with soap and sort of doing a soft 2 laps, right? Section and section again, move on to the next part. I don't know how that's going to be received by some. Some people might just see it as like bloat. I don't particularly mind. Also, you can forego the soap altogether. I don't really understand the charging of it or how it works, because in some cases I ran out and others I didn't. I wonder if there's like a gamey... See, it seems to fill regardless. And if I'm spraying nothing in particular, but then if I land on muck, it looks like it slows down. You know what I mean? Very hard to tell. But anyway, it's pretty cool. Look for it on the channel because there's a good chance I get it and play the game proper. Is it just more power washing sim? In a way, right? Like if you didn't like it for some reason in the first instance, you're not going to particularly change your mind here. However, if you were a bit of a fan, which I feel like anyone that really gave it a go is, like you can't help it, then these little tweaks I think are actually quite significant. Anyway, we'll wrap it there, team. I'll just leave it there for the time being. I'll catch you guys on the next one.